How are you? Okay, let's go. It's a pleasure to be here. At first, a little bit presentation. Let me introduce me. My name is José Manuel Román. I was working for several years training networking, and I would like to say that I'm passionate about MikroTik. I have this presentation in the last month, okay? One of them is very linked with the presentation, with this presentation. And let me briefly introduce my company. Actually, the name is FiberClick. We are dedicated to deployment of fiber optic and wireless installation, outdoor, indoor, and so on. And when we speak about consultancy, we give consultancy about MikroTik products, about licensed antennas, IPv4 broker, and we are specialized in IPv6. We are one of the first certificates in Amsterdam in IPv6. I have colleagues from Spain that assist to the first courses in Spain. We give training in English, in Indonesia, and Spanish. This is the agenda for the presentation. I will introduce the traffic generator because it's a tool very powerful and it's not so well documented, and is the goal of this presentation. After the introduction, there is a use case, okay? There is 5 use cases with examples. Okay. What is the problem that we have every day, almost every day, in our networks? We have very, very complex configuration, and we haven't tools to test this configuration. You know, everyone that is here, almost 90% of the assistant, maybe you are level 2 or level 3 support, and you know the problem when the network is growing very fast with new service, voice over IP, IPv6, IPTV, and so on. Is like a big animal, and no one knows that is doing this animal. The solution, at least for us, because we are using MikroTik, is the traffic generator, and this presentation is about this tool. Okay, what is traffic generator? From the wiki, traffic generator is a tool that allows to evaluate performance or device under test, or, very important, system under test. It's important, this difference, because we can test one machine and we can test a global system. What traffic generator can do for us? A lot of things. Why? Because traffic generator tool can generate raw packets. We can, I don't know exactly, because it's very difficult to find some good term in English, but I think it's like manufacture or maybe crafting packets. We can do with this tool almost every packet that is in the network. And not only build the packets, we can collect latency, jitter, and so on. When we use this tool, okay, there is a first step or second step in every design. You need tests before go to the production system. In this case, we use traffic generator for throughput, for CPU, for PPS, and so on. What kind of links we test? For example, wireless link, point-to-point, point-to-multipoint, and also links with Ethernet and so on. We can test not only the system, not only the device, we can test latency, packet loss, and so on and so on. It can be an example of this kind of testing. We have a device under test, and we have 3 traffic generators. Every equipment with routers can do this kind of tests. Let's go to the samples. The first case is a very simple traffic generator. We use the maybe most basic configuration. We have 2 IP addresses, and the equipment are in the same subnet. Okay, I think I don't need to explain this slide. It's only the purpose is you saw the addresses of every router. Very important. This is the basic workflow with 3 steps. Step 1, we need to test, we need to set the port, because we can use every interface in the router. The second step is create the template. We create the template with the headers mainly, okay? And the last step is to create a string to send the packet to the goal. In this first, I will try. In this first part, we are setting the part of the port. There is a button here, and when we push the button, we have a new Windows, and in this Windows, we can configure, we can set the interface. There is an important thing in this kind of configuration, because if you don't set, for example, the interface, automatically routers assume this data. Step 2. In this case, we set the packet template. We'll go to this Windows, and we'll configure. Here, there is 4 tabs. The first tab is the general with the headers, okay? The first header is the MAC And you can see here is assuming these values. The second one is the IP address. You can see here. And the third one is the UDP header. In this case, we have here very simple template. We are doing the template. We can see here with the port 1, with the destination in the other equipment, and the source address, our equipment. Okay, let's go to the stream. With the stream, we can send flows to the device under test. In this case, we use the template that we set in the previous slide. Very important because here we can set the size of the packet, megabits per second, and packets per second. Okay. We have all this configuration, and we can begin the quick start. But what is happening here? This doesn't work. We have one problem. There is an error because we don't receive packets. Why? Okay. This is the reason. I was searching to prepare this presentation. I was searching in the forum. There isn't so many documentation about. Only in the wiki, in the last part of the wiki, there is the explanation. Why is so important? Because you need to change the point of view to use the traffic generator, okay? Because basically, you are sending packets to your device, okay? And in this case, we are sending packet to the device under test. It's okay until here? Okay. This is the best, this is the true configuration. We need the IP address of the device that is using the traffic generator. And the gateway is the address of device under test, okay? We can change the template in the IP session like this. When we change the template, everything it's okay, and we are receiving packets. Okay? You can see in this slide with the traffic tab, everything is working, everything is sending and receiving packets. Okay, let's go to the next case. In this case, there is more complicated configuration. We have the traffic generator, we have the device under test, and we'll send 3 different strings. And we mix with the IPv6 headers. We are setting here, you can see, sorry. We are setting here the IP address and the IPv6 address only for purpose of connectivity. And here, the same in the other side. Let's go. Let's go to set the template and start the test. And it's very important to understand the flows inside the traffic generator and the device under test. We send the packet, and the packets go to port 2 and port 3. From port 2, from traffic generator to port 2, and then port 1 and port 3. This is very important to understand that we need to send the packet from the traffic generator to the device under test, and the packet can go to one place or other place. And the last one, like this. Okay. These are all the packet templates. It's not so important. It's only to see the configuration. And you have here all the configuration. When we send, there is a parameter very important here. Is this one. Is the identification of this string. Why is so important? Because it's the only way to control where the packet goes. And here are the bandwidth in the interface. And the tab with the traffic. And we can use torch to capture both IPv4 and IPv6. Okay, let's go to the next, is case 3. In this case, we'll go to fabricate or crafting or packet for testing. In this case, we will try to test a Q3 and prepare Mangle rules to test with the traffic generator. I like very much the security field, and I need to put some bad guy in this presentation. In this case, we'll use some kind of spoofing. It's here. And we have 2 traffic generators in our system. And this one will be the device under test. The flow is from the voice IP phone from the server, and the attacker to the server. We craft this kind of packet. We can go here. There is 2 kinds of packets. There is RTP and zip packets. One packet will be generated by intruder, and the others by voice over IP equipment. Very simple configuration. We set the IP address in the IP phone, and we mark this RTP and this zip call. We need to set the packet templates. We have here all the configuration. We have here the name with the headers, MAC, IP, and UDP. In the IP tab, we have the addresses. I remember the topology. Here is the topology. And this is the destination address, okay? And very important, the gateway, okay? And in this case is the zip, also the general with MAC, IP, and UDP. And after the IP addresses, okay? In this case, zip is using 5060 and 5061 port. The intruder is the IP address configuration, and the template will be a raw packet. This raw packet is here with MAC, IP, and you can see the last one, header, okay? And everything is okay now. We'll test the behavior. For test, we need to set the queues inside the device under test. Not only the queues, also the malware rules. We have here the rules in the mangle section of the IP firewall. And we have here the queue tree. In this case, we launch traffic generator from intruder with 20 megabits per second and traffic generator from IP phone with 120 kilobits per second. And let's go. In this case, you can see we have received, because it's only for purpose of sending packets. This one is the IP phone. We can see here 2 IDs, and is sending packets. And you can see here the traffic and the Q3 limitation inside the device under test. Okay, let's go to the wireless part. In this case, we have a very, very simple configuration. We set the station, basic, and we set the IP. In this case, with traffic generator, we change the size of the packets. The first is very small packet, 64, and a big quantity of megabits per second per wireless. We test, and there is very, very important windows for testing is this part, because you can group the latencies. Okay? I ordered it by count, and you can see the latencies. Okay? It's very important to fix well the time, because are nanoseconds. In this case, it's 1 second. Okay? And this is the identification of this flow. We change the parameters, and now we are putting a different size. In this case, the packet size is 1,500 and 1 megabits per second. And you can see the latency are better. Okay, I will show you this other. You can see here, and the next one here. Okay. A very, very interesting feature inside traffic generator is pickup, because we can inject packets with pickup. I suppose everything here knows pickup. It's a library in Unix, and there is other library also for Windows. And we can use pickup to capture packets. Normally, we use WireShark. In this case, you have here the file. And with this file, we can inject directly in the RouterBOARDs system. In this case, I don't need WireShark because I'm using the capture inside the RouterBOARDs. And I'm doing a pin. I have the capture, and I can use the capture to inject inside the RouterBOARDs device. You can see that traffic generator is very, very powerful tool. We can use for wireless, we can use for other kind of device, and maybe the most important part is you can test not only device, that you can test system. Thank you very much.